Welcome back. We have a very special guest this morning, LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman, and so much to talk about, so many high-profile cases. First off, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You've been in the news quite a bit, so have a couple of brothers, the Menendez brothers, who had their parole denied. Was there anything about that process that surprised you, and are you glad that this part of the puzzle is behind us?
I am glad, and nothing about the process surprised me because the parole board did their job. They looked at the evidence, and our position was always not never. In other words, at some point, if the Menendez brothers come clean with all the lies they've told, if they actually abide by the prison rules, they can be ready for parole. But our position was not yet. That we identified 16 different lies, including the central lie from their trial, which was the self-defense defense. In other words, their position at trial was not that their parents, their mom and their dad, were set to kill them because of sexual abuse. Their idea was that they were going to just kill them that night of August 20th, 1989, and they had to kill them first. We showed that self-defense defense, which was their defense at trial, was not sexual abuse, was a lie. They actually bought the shotguns 2 days beforehand using aliases and did it in San Diego. They had actually a pre-planned alibi that morning to go see Batman the movie, supposedly during the shootings, which they then tried to get movie tickets to after the killings. They then strategically actually killed their parents to make it look like a mafia hit, shooting the dad from the back of the head. The mom, who lied bleeding on the ground, they reloaded a shotgun, shot her point-blank range in the face, and then shot him through the kneecaps, and then disposed of all the evidence, and then screamed in the 911 call, "Someone killed our parents." Yeah. So that self-defense defense comes up much later, actually at the trial, where they say, oh, mom and dad were going to kill us that night, so we had to kill them first. We showed that and a whole number of other lies were still being told by the Menendezes over the last 30 years. So if and when they come clean with that, and then they abide by the prison rules, that was another huge issue, that they engaged in a variety of prison rule violations awaiting this parole hearing. If they basically come clean and they fix their own house, then 3 years from now, when they're up for parole, they might be able to qualify.
Very quickly, though, still have the habeas corpus thing still to come, so this is going to appear again very quickly?
That's actually true. We filed our paperwork, basically a 130-page detailed description of why the new evidence, which was a letter that Eric Menendez supposedly sent to his cousin back in December of 1988, wasn't new, wasn't even real, wasn't credible, and wouldn't change the mix of the trial evidence, thereby justifying a new trial. Same thing with the declaration they submitted of Roy Rossello.
Okay. Now, the trust, switch topics here. Trust is a very big thing. Altadena and Palisades, two fire burn areas that are trying to rebuild. Contractors will be coming in, they'll be offering the moon, and who knows what you might get. So there's a lot going on when it comes to trust of people rebuilding. You are, in your office, is trying to help them by going after illegal contractors. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening there, what your focus is, what's the purpose of this particular mission?
So we anticipate that billions of dollars is going to come into the Palisades area, into the Eaton fire zone to rebuild it. It's like a huge flame for all the criminal moths, and many of those moths are unlicensed contractors. Turns out that if you're an unlicensed contractor here in California, you're committing a felony. And many of those unlicensed contractors will offer cut rates to the various homeowners who now are trying to scramble to get basically contractors to build these homes. They'll offer them these cut rates because they're unlicensed. They'll ask for a certain amount up front that violates the law. If they get it, they don't have the licensing, they don't have the ability, or we don't have the ability to police them. So what we're trying to do is send a very loud warning message up front. If you're an unlicensed contractor and you're thinking about taking advantage of the people who are going through this tragedy and now rebuilding, we're going to come after you. And by the way, the same thing for anybody who's going to perpetrate a financial scam on these various victims of this fire zones. We're going to come after you, we're going to arrest you, we're going to prosecute you, and you're going to get punished.
And if I could just, I know we're out of time, but I want to ask, say I have hired an unlicensed contractor and he has taken advantage of me or she has taken advantage of me. What am I guilty of as far as hiring the unlicensed person. When you say you're going after them for committing a felony, people might be scared to come to you thinking that they've done something wrong.
They're the victim of this crime. The crime is basically, if you're the unlicensed contractor, you're violating the law. So if you actually have hired a contractor, go to the Contractor State License Board. They have a website. You can literally run the contractor's name and see if they have a license. If you have engaged in an unlicensed contractor, report them. Report them before something goes wrong, where they walk off the job and then you want to go after their bond and you find out they have no bond because they're an unlicensed contractor, or they do shoddy work and you want to sue them later, they disappear. Or if you go ahead and you want to eventually sell your house and you want to show that they complied with all the permit requirements and they didn't because they're an unlicensed contractor, you're going to have great difficulty at that point. So it makes much more sense to go ahead and proactively make sure you're dealing with a licensed contractor who will do all the things necessary to rebuild your house, rather than either lose the money if they run off the job, or eventually if they do a shoddy job, you can't resell your house.
Okay. DA Nathan Hochman joining us today. Thank you very much for
So
being
nice
with
to
us.
see you.
Thank you to our producer for the extra time. Let's send it back over to Colleen.
Always great points, though. Thank you so much, Phillip. And again, DA Hochman, for joining us this morning.